Hello everyone, today is Love is Science. Mark is a hairstylist in a hair salon, serving mostly women. He can easily turn around among many girls, and he is a straight man through and through. And Owen is an employee of a dating agency. His clients are those who are hurt in their relationship or who are not good at words and want to continue to find their other half. So he can easily guess what other people are thinking, and he has also inherited the unique quality of a matchmaker. That is, he can speak well. This day Mark came to the restaurant to order food, and happened to meet Owen, who was looking for a topic for a blind date. But girls don't like blind dates, but they look at Owen. This made the boy very upset and said a lot of nasty things to Owen. Mark, who was waiting for the meal, couldn't stand it anymore, and went up to fight the injustice.
人家长得比你帅没有错吧？
这位先生，请你尊重一下我的客户。我在帮你。
One thinks that the other party doesn't know what is good or bad, and the other thinks that the other party is meddling. Many times, what we think may not be what the other party wants, so it may not be a good thing to take it for granted. The so-called no coincidence, the hair salon where they work cooperates with the dating agency. Every time before taking someone on a blind date, Owen would come to the hair salon to do some styling, so they had many opportunities to meet.
帮忙丢一下，你挡住垃圾桶。
Seeing the homophobic Mark, Owen walked away teasingly and disdainfully, leaving Mark alone in a mess. The hairdos are styling Owen's customers while he teaches him the art of speaking. Mark interjected from time to time, refuting Owen's point of view and provoking his patience.
亲爱的，你要是再多说一句话，我就用性感的双唇。
I don't know if it was a bad relationship, but on the way home Owen met Mark again. He was being beaten up by some gangsters. It turned out that he had flirted with the wrong girl, but fortunately Owen didn't ignore it. He fights far better than Mark. It doesn't matter if he doesn't meet the girl, but he can bear a few punches. But what he can't accept is that even he is better than him in fighting.
我是真的受到严重的打击，开始怀疑人生。
谁说给酒不眠啦？
Looking at the back of Owen leaving, there is a different feeling circulating in Mark's body. I seem to smell the smell of love. On this day, Owen brought a customer to get his hair done again. Mark changed his attitude towards him in the past and became much more enthusiastic. He was pouring coffee and tidying his hair, and Owen was overwhelmed by his enthusiasm. He fled the scene on the pretext of making a phone call. Mark thought he was a wolf who never touched a leaf among thousands of flowers. But after he met Owen's female boss, Joanna, it was just the end of the wolf's mouth. After their one-night stand in the car, Mark can no longer contact Joanna. He begged Owen to tell him the phone number of his boss, but Owen refused. So he stalked all the way to the gym, but Owen ran into his boyfriend who had gone to study in the UK as an excuse to break up with him. Owen was still waiting obsessively for him to return to China, but his boyfriend laughed at him for being too affectionate. At this time, Mark came over and helped Owen regain face. The ex-boyfriend was unconvinced and compared the barbell squat with Mark. He claimed to be a national player, but in the end he was defeated in embarrassment. Owen supported Mark, who couldn't even stand up straight. He got to know this big boy with thunderbolt temper again. He gave his first kiss to the boy for him, and he exhausted all his strength for him. Before breaking up, Owen told Mark he can't give him the phone without Joanna's consent. He can create a coincidence plot with his boss for dinner next week. So there was a scene where the three of them ate together. Obviously, Joanna didn't want to settle down, and even Owen's hard work couldn't change her mind. To relax, Mark followed Owen to his gay party sullenly. But he found a tall and handsome foreigner walking very close to him. He broke up their date with a stomachache. He succeeded in his trick. He jumped up and down happily, but Owen, who was looking back at him in the taxi, had a panoramic view. So far, he seems to understand his own mind. Mark finds Joanna and ends the relationship in his own way. Everyone is an adult, so we can get together and get together. There is no need to make it so embarrassing for everyone. Mark turned around and began to pay attention to Owen's itinerary. When he heard that he was going to meet a foreigner, He was afraid that the foreigner would eat Owen, so he started to chase him away. At the intersection, Mark kisses Owen forcefully. It was dawn, and Owen stood in front of the floor-to-ceiling windows drinking coffee, looked at Mark who was still sleeping soundly on the bed, and recalled the beauty of last night. Mark getting up brought Owen back from his thoughts. He shyly ran to take a shower.
一起吧。
While they were having breakfast together, Owen calmed down and began to think. Does Mark see himself as a replacement for Joanna, or is he serious about dating him? Mark looked at Owen who was restless in his thoughts. As a regular veteran, he knew what Owen was thinking. So he hugged his head and kissed it again. Owen seemed to understand what Mark meant, and went to work happily. Owen actually refuses to talk to a straight man. He was afraid that the other party was just impulsive, and he was also afraid that he would get hurt. And Mark is also struggling. Is he ready to give up all the beauties in the world for Owen? Facing the torture of his soul, he finally had the answer.
我想清楚了，我下礼拜要约我朋友玩滑板，一起去吧。
He was going to officially introduce Owen to his friends. Mark is also very charming when he is serious. This made Owen both happy and worried. Because he has experienced cheating, it is like an arrow that leads the string, and it is absolutely impossible to turn back. He struggled with the agreement on whether to go to the skateboarding rink. This day Joanna asked Owen to accompany him to have his appendix removed. He didn't know it was an abortion until he arrived at the hospital. When Joanna was sent into surgery, Owen figured out that she was pregnant at the exact time she was with Mark.
孩子是马克的，
孩子是我的。
我们聊一聊。
Owen wants Joanna to have the baby. He loves children, and although he can't have his own children, it's great to be able to raise Mark's children. Happy thing. Joanna also felt that the child had not yet been born. So many people were vying to love him, so it might be a good choice to be born. The skateboarding appointment day came. Owen, whom Mark was expecting, did not come, but Joanna, who he waited for. Just the night before, Owen asked Joanna to meet Mark at the skate park for him. Owen is afraid that one day when he wakes up, Mark doesn't love him at all. He knows that falling in love with a straight man is like a moth to a flame. Every day's happiness is a fluke. What he can do for him is perhaps to leave him a way out. Mark was surprised to learn that Joanna was pregnant with his child, but he was even more angry. He found Owen and asked him why he didn't come.
你以为我是一时兴起吗？你知道前一天晚上我有多紧张吗？但是我为什么这么做？因为你很不安。我想要让你安心，我想让你看见我的认真，我想让你知道我已经准备好面对全世界了。你嘞？
And the two broke up again. For several days they did not see each other. Mark and Joanna take care of Friend's daughter together. One is very caring and the other is gentle, like a pair of qualified parents. When Owen went to visit Joanna, he ran into Mark delivering food to Joanna. Seeing how natural Mark is in the different world, Owen walks away with low self-esteem. Mark thought it was because of the child Owen who was having a temper tantrum with him. When he learned that Owen was going to keep the child, he ran all the way to Owen's company. He kissed Owen furiously in full view. In this way, their happiness slowly unfolded. From the moment they moved in together, they went home hand in hand, accompanied Joanna's pregnancy checkup together, and looked forward to the child who was about to be born together. Until one day, Mark's parents came to visit unexpectedly and asked him to marry Joanna. He held Owen's hand and told them loudly that the person he liked was Owen. The mother fainted from anger, and they left disappointed. Facing his parents' disapproval, Mark was also very angry. Owen persuaded him to be considerate of his parents. Parents go through a self-healing process when they learn that their child is a rainbow. They first wondered if it was because they met unkind people that they led the child astray, and then blamed themselves for not caring for the child so that the child became like this. When their emotions cannot be released, they will vent their anger on their children. They will think that the child betrayed them, and they will be sad in the end. When the outbreak returned to calm, they knew how many difficulties and obstacles there were on this road, and they felt even more distressed. Mark gets it, and he'll wait patiently until the day his parents accept it. After experiencing happiness and sadness, impulsiveness and precipitation, Mark proposed to Owen on a sunny day. Their happiness will continue forever. I believe that one day parents will understand and accept it. The baby was born smoothly and grew up healthy. And they will grow old too. The story ends here. Owen is a veteran with bruises and bruises in the rainbow circle. He is well aware of the ending of a relationship with a straight man, because such tragedies are often circulated in the circle. They still flirt with you on the bed, but they are indifferent when they lift their pants and turn around and flirt with the opposite sex. So Owen and Mark deliberately kept a distance until Mark's overwhelming love flooded his entire lonely island. He just let him into his own world. He's as humble as Mark's secret lover, so he doesn't have to beat their relationship to the world. He left him a path to regret, humble enough to be willing to raise Mark's children. But Mark just doesn't want to. He's the kind of person who, once he's determined, will move forward with all his heart. He just wanted to love Owen openly and hold his hand while shopping. He kissed him in front of his friends and proposed to him with a ring. He is his son, who brought Owen, who was in the mud, back to the love and the sun. Owen once said something that stuck with me: when you come out of the closet, your parents will walk into the closet. This sentence makes a lot of sense. When we want our parents to understand, it seems we forget that they are human too. They also take time to digest. How long it took you to get out of the closet, please give them double the time to understand you. After all, the surroundings of your life are easier to accept, while they are not. They may never mention your things to others in their entire lives. They may suffer from the eyes and ridicule of distant relatives and neighbors. Do irreversible things just because you don't understand for a while. There are few parents in the world who do not love their children, especially mothers. Because it was the flesh that fell from her body when she was pregnant in October. Just give them time to come out of doubt and guilt, anger and sadness. They will continue to love you just as much as ever. Today's story ends here. Friends who like must support a lot, and leave your feelings in the comment area. See you next time.